This video is all about simultaneous equations, one linear and one non-linear at the higher level, and will help you do the quiz on the same topic. What are simultaneous equations? Simultaneous equations are a set of equations, usually two, that can be solved simultaneously, which means at the same time, with one set of values for the unknown terms. Here's an example. X plus y equals 12 and y subtract x squared equals 0. The first equation is linear. This means that if you plotted the relationship between the two variables x and y on a graph, you would have a straight line. The second equation is nonlinear. This means that the relationship between the numbers is more complex, and if you plotted solutions on a graph, you would create a curve. It has an unknown which is to a power of more than 1, in this example, x squared. So how can I solve simultaneous equations? We start by rearranging the quadratic equation to get the non-quadratic term on its own. We substitute this into the linear equation. We then solve this equation and substitute the solutions in the quadratic equation to find the other unknown. Finally, we check our solutions. So let's have a go. Looking at the same equations, we're going to start by rearranging the quadratic equation, which is the second one, to get the non-quadratic term on its own. If we add x squared to both sides of the equation, we can say that y equals x squared. Now we're going to substitute y equals x squared into the linear equation, which is number 1. So we know that x plus y equals 12, and now we can say that x plus x squared equals 12. Our next step is to solve this equation. It's a quadratic, so we need to get all the terms on one side, and we can do this by subtracting 12 from both sides. This then factorises to give us this, so we can say that x equals 3 or x equals negative 4. Our next step is to substitute the solutions that we've just found into the quadratic equation. We want to find solutions for the value of y now. So if we substitute x equals 3 equals y subtract x squared equals 0, we end up with y subtract 3 squared equals 0. So we're talking about y subtract 9 equals 0. So we can say that when x equals 3, y equals 9. Now let's use the other solution, x equals negative 4, and we do the same thing. This time you can see y equals 16. So the equations have two sets of solutions, x equals 3, y equals 9, and x equals negative 4, y equals 16. So our last step is to check our solutions using the linear equation. If we put in x equals 3 and y equals 9, 3 plus 9 does equal 12, so we know it's correct. Now let's try x equals negative 4 and y equals 16. Once again, we know it equals 12, so we know we've found correct solutions. Now have a go at the quiz.